This is a special kind of live because I am not alone, and I am looking forward to welcome my beautiful dear friend Dominik to join me on this live. If you've been to my immersions, you have met Dominik, especially in the latest years, because he has been a temple keeper in my immersions in the temple, and he has been holding the pillar for the work. He's been there with me in the temple for years now, since 2018. So really happy to introduce you to him. Looking forward to see him hopping on. And I messed up the time, so I apologize if you are watching the replay. I hope you found the replay. If you wanted to be with us live, I messed up the time because time zones and things like that. You can watch the replay, but we will still catch a little bit of that time frame that I mentioned. So what we want to be talking about is the topic of masculine initiations. And masculine initiations is something that we all can relate to, men and women. But these are the initiations that take us deeper into stillness. If you've watched my previous video or listened to my one of my latest podcasts, you will know that when we talk about the masculine principle, when we talk about the masculine principle, we can talk about it on two different planes of existence. One is the energy inside of us that is here to accomplish, to achieve, to perform, to move forward, to achieve goals. And the other principle, which is a lot deeper masculine principle, is the principle of verticality. And it's the principle of stillness and of pure presence. And masculine initiations, therefore, imply that you are going deeper into that vertical essence of yours, into that stillness that you are, into that place that is beyond anything that can ever destabilize you. You are no longer being carried away with the stuff that's there in front of you, but you are resting in that pure place of pure being, pure stillness. So I wonder, where is my beautiful guest? Dominik, if you're here, please request to be a part of the live. Let me see if I can find you. For the time being, it's nice. Okay, he's invited, but we don't see you. There you are. Okay. So I thought you will just pop up, but actually I needed to invite you. There's also some wisdom in that. It's like needs to be an active invitation so that the things you want in your life appear.
Yes.
So welcome. Happy to be here with you live. And let's start maybe by sharing a bit of our story. I've already been sharing that you've been a part of retreats for quite some years now. And we can also share just the story of how we met, and that was quite something, I must say, because we met for the first time ever in complete silence. It was during a prolonged meditation retreat, 17 days. It was in the jungle in Thailand, and we were just there in complete silence. And we didn't actually connect then. We didn't talk to each other. And it's not just a few years later that we realized that we both were there, and that was actually our first encounter. Yeah. And then what happened?
Well, then what happened, I signed up for this online training with Educated.
Yeah.
And there I met Hubert, your former husband, and then yeah, this is how we connected again, actually, and now realized that we've been in the same yoga school for so many years, and then yeah, there was the retreat with Mochi, and then we set that together, and then somehow we just connected more and more, and now the love is infinite.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've had this whole spiritual journey together, doing practices, sitting retreats, and then it emerged so naturally that I invited Dominik, I invited you to come and assist, because I knew that he had already solid practice in his life. And just like me, I believe you also had this phase of full-time practice, right? Like you've had those phases, and then that forges something in your system when you really devote yourself to full-time practice. You don't have a job, you don't do anything, you just practice, and you're like obsessed with that. And so there we connected, and then I invited Dominik to come and assist, and it's been just a perfect fit. Yeah, we find each other to be very complementary, and there is something I tend to bring a lot of magic, a lot of mystery, a lot of just like we fly high, we go beyond limits, and Dominik tends to hold the ground and hold it all in a very solid place.
I like what you wrote in the quote, that what I said in Costa Rica with the kite, and yeah, that really nails it somehow. Me being like the holder of the kite lines on the ground, and you just flying up there, channeling all these beautiful visions and amazing insights and realizations, and I'm just there holding the lines.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very complementary, and yeah, I also really honor that also in our reflections, like when like just asking you something, and then it's just so beautiful to get reflections from you, because you somehow build the opposite of what I am, and it's so beautiful to get these perspectives. And yeah, and I think that's why we also fit so well together in the retreat, and it's just this magic that happens when we're holding the space, that it's just our very much counter opposite ways on how we are built. And yeah,
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
so it's a
Yeah,
perfect match for the retreats.
yes. So grateful, amazing. So yeah, that's what you will experience. Those of you who are coming to Divine Eros, you will feel that. We also have like a certain geometry of how we're holding the energetic space, and you feel it, like it gives this additional density to the space to have our connection there. And today we want to talk about the masculine initiations, because obviously, like Dominik has incredible stories to share about being a super successful entrepreneur with multiple businesses, and at the same time really like serious spiritual practitioner, and who has so much depth of experience with deep spiritual work, deep dive inside, and also deep experience with my work, with the work of erotic embodiment and the work of finding your sovereign wholeness no matter what, and flying into the infinite. So this just is, yeah, like I found that you're just such a cool person to talk to, and to also speak specifically to men. By the way, if you know of a man who would be a really amazing person to tune into this conversation about masculine initiations, please invite them. Yeah, there is a way for you to invite a person into the live. Well, welcome to go ahead and do it. And if you're watching the replay, also welcome to tag the person. And so we want to unlock this, like how can masculine initiations look like? Those initiations that take us into the stillness, those initiations that really anchor you into the one you came here to be, and for men specifically into this fullness of the masculine that you came here to embody. And we talked just now a little bit, and we kind of connected with different stories that we can share. And one of them, yeah, let me say it like this. So what, like power? Yeah, let's open it like this. Power. What actually power means? This masculine power. Those initiations that take you into the masculine power. What it actually is. Maybe you can also share your perspective as a man.
I have a very beautiful story that just came to my mind right now. I'm also a Wim Hof instructor, so I'm also teaching a lot with Wim Hof together. And there's a theme, like it's the opposite of what we're having. We're facing the challenge of not getting enough women for the retreats, so it's usually only men signing up for the Wim Hof retreats. And then we often have this, very tough and like pumped up guys, like big muscles, and oh, we're gonna sit in the ice forever, and like really, like somehow showing the power, no, or seems to be power. And there was this one week we held a retreat, and we had this. It was like a kind of a like in the lineage of a princess in India, and like this very thin and like delicate woman from India was part of the training, and she was the only woman with all these big pumped up men there, and they were all like tough and yeah, we ice bath and we're gonna do 30 minutes and we're powerful. When in the end, the white dressed princess was sitting in the ice bath for 15 minutes while all the other guys were already out for 10 minutes. So that's the question. What is the real power now? Is it like being the strong guy, being like the force, being like, oh, I have the power, I have the money, I have all this? Or is the true power coming from within? No? And that was like the absolute proof for me again. I knew it anyways, but then it's so beautiful to see that in stories like this. And no, it's like this little princess like sitting there for 15 minutes, no problem. But she developed its inner capacities. She has the skills inside. Whereas the guys, they were just training a lot. So, and this is the power we're talking about. No, it's like this more invisible power of love that comes from inside and not just like being pumped. Ideally, of course, and that's what I also honor so much about your work, Sofia, is to develop both these aspects, like to have this spiritual practice, but at the same time, we also work on our psyche. We work on also on our personality to get better on this level. So it's a beautiful complementary work there, and yeah, that's also why I really honor that and really love that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the power that is within, the power that makes you face this challenge. And water is also such an awesome representation of that, the cold water, the kind of things. Also, I love to create challenges, and in Sundari Mystery Immersions, we always have some kind of challenge that really puts you into this place of like, are you going to find the power inside to remain unshaken? Or are you going to give in to like, oh no, I cannot, I have a trauma about this, I have a wound there, I cannot do this, like, it's not that traumas shouldn't be addressed, they are addressed, and we have also methods to address that. But then, like, okay, after the layers of static that's on top, can you drop deeper and be in that true place of power? And we talked about it before, how in the world, there is like a bit of a misconception what is the true power. Yeah, it can be reflected in so many ways externally, through success, through accomplishments, through performance. But this deep power that makes you just stay still, this is the true one. This is the true power, and that's the one that just cannot be taken away. And ultimately, that's the power of love. And that's the love that makes us so quiet, and love that makes us so embraced already, so whole already, that you can just soften, and you can just trust, and you can just open. And so, like, let's share about those beautiful stories you shared with me, the 3 masculine initiations that you personally have been through, to make it really real. Yeah, because initiation doesn't mean that you are there jumping over fire. I mean, maybe. Yeah, and also initiation, like also going to the cold water or facing like a challenge in nature or something like that. Also those things can be, but there is a deeper meaning behind it, and also real life can provide that. So could you share about those initiations one by one?
Well, yeah. And I also want to add something here, that I do see 2 different types of initiations. Like on one hand, you have this initiation where you just mentioned, where you consciously, let's say, take an ice bath, or you consciously go to a certain retreat or ceremony or ritual. where you take this conscious action to get initiated into something. But then there are these initiations that just come from life, and you often are not prepared for that. It can be just an unforeseen event or happening in your business, or where in my case, where I now share that was a breakup of a relationship, which was a very big initiation for myself, where I for many years believed that my partner or my lover, the person that I'm in a relationship with, needs to feel certain things within myself that I don't have, or that of course I've been going with a partner, so we together we are better. We're like complementing each other. We're like fulfilling certain things that the other doesn't have. So I was in this type of relationship for quite some time, for many years. It was a long-term relationship. And also with this person, I started a business, and we started working on the same business. But then we broke up, and it was rather a quick, spontaneous thing. But then I realized I was like completely with myself, like in regards of what I thought I get from my partner, but then also business-wise, because I really involved this person in business in all kinds of aspects. And it was quite a shocking experience then, this breakup, but the whole process that followed was a blessing, actually. And I think that's, if I look back in my life, everything that happened were in moments where I was like, oh, I don't know, like it should be different now, or I'm not very happy with how it happened. But actually exactly those moments are the moments that have the juice to bring this fire and bring this transformation. And for me, and that was really this learning and this teaching. I also didn't enter for quite a few years a relationship after that, because I really felt I need to be able to be complete with myself, like to be fulfilled, to be whole with myself. Only then I feel ready to move on into a next engagement with someone. So that was a big initiation in this breakup. And then also in this whole process, because before this relationship, I was working a lot. I had a gardening business, and I also started the date business already, and another one. And I really put a lot of effort in, and so much, exactly what I just shared before with the man and woman, the power. I thought that because my only goal for even it's funny when I ask my mother, it's like, what did I say when I was tiny, what I want to become? I just said rich. I want to have shitloads of money. That's what I said. Like, I didn't have any specific interests, but I just want to have a lot of money. Like, that was the thing. And that was still very alive for many of my years in being an adult. And I thought I'm going to achieve that with, like, working a lot, with doing a lot. But in this whole process of breaking up, I also realized, and it's not doing a lot, but it's doing the things that matter. It's doing the right things. And after the breakup, it somehow this initiation of life also helped me to realize that, and to getting more into effortless. It's still work. It doesn't mean there's no work involved. I put a lot of work in it, but the real money came after that initiation, where I realized it's not many things, but it's the important things that I need to do. So that was a very big initiation for me in these regards. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's like, it seemed like it was all about the relationship, but then because it was so tight in, and that's how many people do things. Yeah, they really like, just it's convenient. Like, yeah, let's have the partner and get them involved into everything. I also actually recently had this with Oliver, with my partner, where he was such a big part of the retreats and everything I was doing, and then I realized actually it's not so healthy for us. And we also had this space of like separating out certain energies and just choosing to be lovers, because that's the best place for us and that's where we really enjoy each other. And then like the way we navigate work, it's two separate things. But that's what those kind of initiations teach us. Yeah, to like go into like, okay, where am I becoming doing some things by default? Where am I just like expecting something? Where am I just being like just in this dwelling in this expectation and unconscious. Where am I falling unconscious? Where am I falling asleep? And where is actually is an act of choice and an act of will, and what am I actually choosing here? So this is what those initiations wake us up to. Well, we have to have the direct experience, the real, like we have to have the skin in the game to experience it. Like we have to put ourselves through this like turmoils and those difficulties, and then something opens up. It's like things get so tight when we have the grasping, the personal grasping. It's like so tight. We kind of get so small and so conditioned, and then through the initiation, Kali's kiss, we can also call it, when the goddess of death and transformation comes, and it's like, you've been asleep here, and then whole new level of freedom. And then in your case, not only in finding like deeper truth of you as a man and your sovereignty, but also seeing how it then unfolded into business. And there's also another interesting thing here, like the initiations that come through business, through our professional life. And here also, like, things can come unexpectedly, and we rely so much and we expect a certain growth, and we put so much of our heart into how we expect things to go and where we want it to go. And then when things just don't go the way we expected them at all, it may seem like the end of the world, or it may be an extraordinary opportunity to actually see that, maybe I've been doing things that I actually don't want to be doing and I'm not good at. And it's actually, I've been more in the workaholism rather than the actual need to do certain things that move the needle. So that's pretty profound.
As someone asked a question now, like, what are the important things? Well, that depends. Like, what is important really depends on the person. But just giving you an example, I'm doing a lot of coachings with people for setting up businesses and getting like things done. And often I see people getting lost in massive business plans and how exactly which color we're gonna take for this and that. But is it really important right now? Or is it maybe more important that you sell something? Or is it more important? So I can't tell you what's important for you. I think that's something everyone has to figure out for themselves. But this comes also with practice, and with meditation, when the dust settles up there, it's just becoming more and more obvious and clear what's important. It's not a difficult thing once the mind settles to understand what is clear, because your heart will be so much more. You hear your heart much more. It's more visible, the heart, and it's so obvious, the voice of the heart, that in daily life often we just can't hear it because it's so noisy up there. And then we just, but maybe I should do this, and then maybe this is important, but better I start here, but then I forgot about this, and it's just confusion, no? But then with practice and with settling more in the heart, the voice of the heart just becomes so obvious, you cannot even anymore listen to something else. It's just very clear, and the compass is somehow realigned and very, very obvious what is important for you then. I think it goes hand in hand with your evolution in that.
Yeah, when you know, you don't need to look, you don't need to scan for that, but you just know. And so that's where the initiations help, actually, and that's where true work of going deep within helps, where you drop the fluff, you drop all this like stuff that is just jumping up and down and gives you this idea and that idea, and this is a good idea, and what those people are doing, and this looks like it's a path to success, and this looks like it's a path to love. You just drop all of it. You drop the nonsense. You release everything that's not true, everything that's borrowed, everything that just came from God knows where, from conditioning from other people, from voices of your mama and papa in your head, or whatever. You drop all of that and you connect to that quiet inner knowing that's found in your depth, and that you come to when you go deep inside, when you dare to go deep inside. And maybe let's talk about the other initiation that happened, that you told me about during the retreat, because retreats are excellent places for that, switching off all the noises and focusing on what truly matters. And what truly matters is here. What truly matters is you. So we switch off the noises, you get held in the environment which is fully focused on transformation, and then what can happen, Dominik?
Well, I wanted to jump in because you said something with the clarity and with the trust, and there I wanted to share one business initiation that I had, because also that I noticed with time, that whatever happens, I truly believe that it has to happen. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. So every time that my personal, very limited understanding of existence doubts existence, so doubts something that happens, like who am I to doubt creation in the first place? And with this insight, with this realization, I'm having sometimes moments where I'm scared how easily I take things. So last year a friend of mine and we bought a place, like we have a retreat center in Mexico, and then we had a hurricane. It just basically flew over our hotel, took our yoga hall, took our roof, it destroyed a lot of our place. And I heard it and I saw the pictures, and there was just such a peace within myself. I was scared almost. I was like, how can you be so calm, Dominik? Like, you should be freaking out. Your hotel is taken by a hurricane. And there was such a peace here. I was like, this is how it's supposed to be. And it's such a deep trust there that somehow, like, even if such a big event happens, I'm somehow staying chilled and okay. So what do we do with that? It's not like, oh, why did that happen? And oh, we are so poor and not da 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 da. But okay, so how do we take this creation, because it's ultimately love, it's God? How do we take that, and what's the gift in that? What's the bricks that God provided now? So we build the next house. No, of course, sometimes we humans imagine the bricks to be different. That's one of the core things why we suffer, actually, because we think things should be different than they are. But the more I allow myself to embrace whatever is, the more magic also happens, the more I feel I expand. And that's not always comfortable. Actually, I think it's never comfortable. That's never comfortable. It's always a stretch, and it's always painful, and it's always a metamorphosis. It's like the butterfly growing. And then again, I find myself after like, oh, wow, that was actually a blessing. So we renovated the place while we got the destruction like repaired, and it was just it was a blessing actually, now looking back. But even in this moment, there was such a peace there. And I find this such a beautiful way to bring this also into business, because oftentimes when I met my first spiritual teachers and I came across this path of spirituality, I thought money and spirituality, they cannot go together. They cannot be together. And business, oh no, I should not make money. I should not do business. I should not do all these things. But these were actually the things that were most exciting for me. And then I limit myself, which actually is the opposite of doing spiritual practice, by limiting myself. And that's the spiritual practice. I was like, oh, man, you're lost. And now having these tools that we actually learn in the immersions, and because Sofia and me, we've been so close together for so many years, and also practicing in the same yoga schools, we got the same toolbox, and so these understandings are very similar. And having these tools and combining them with business, it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. It's just amazing. So that was the business initiation, but I a little bit drifted off. I wanted to talk about another thing, but that just came in.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, it's very real. Yeah, it's not just, you kind of go in and then you just stay there and you like travel. You can, yeah, but then actually many of us have the calling to do some great things on the planet and do something like make our hands dirty here and do something active and do something powerful and really like experience wealth and experience success and experience prosperity and experience pure abundance, where you just, the more you have, the more you are, the more there is for all of us. So yeah, that's a path of bridging both, yeah, the world of spirit and the human world, and that's just such a beautiful path of Tantra. This is what this path is offering us.
Mhm. Yeah, and there, I mean, the trainings, the in-person immersions, it's just another thing. I mean, you have online trainings, and I did many online trainings as well. But and then last year, I think we just did one, and then before we did a bit more. But then we realized we actually have to do more again because it's a different click when we come together. There's a different magic happening. It's just a fact. And one of these things was actually, was it last? I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. We had a training in the same place that we're holding the next training in Portugal. And we have these so-called temple nights where you never know what's going to happen, actually.
You play in the field of limitlessness. That's what's happening. It's just pure mystery. You enter and it's mystery. And it's real, you know, it's not just an abstract thing. You actually come in and you experience it.
Very real. And I mean, that's also kind of a, like I like to refer to retreats
Yes.
like a testing field, like a playground. No, like you go into this immersion and it's such a safe space. You can just do the most crazy things you wouldn't even think of doing in normal life. And then you're just like there, you know, and everyone is accepting you as you are. And there's this safe container of showing yourself, of sharing, of maybe, yeah, really talking from the heart or doing things that you wouldn't be expecting yourself to do. And it happens a lot in retreats. And we can't tell you what because it's usually very spontaneous, our whole unfolding in the retreat. So don't ask Sofia for a program. Just don't do that.
Because it doesn't exist.
So,
and yet, I know exactly what I'm doing. That's the mystery.
That's the mystery, exactly. But yeah, it was one of these beautiful temple nights, and we had set up corners for the masculine and feminine, basically. And I was holding the space in the dark masculine side. So the dark masculine is more like these dark corners where we don't like to look at or things. Can be also like dirty fantasies and naughty like ideas we have, but we would never dare to talk about it because it's just too far, down there or too far in the dark. So the dark masculine is exactly representing this aspect of our being, this. And so I was in this corner, and I mean, I knew I've been going to crazy experiences from ayahuasca and all kinds of, you name it, like I did it, like all of it. But then there was this one temple night, and I got really scared somehow. There was like this massive fear there, but I couldn't like reason it. I was contemplating, and there was nothing like really tangible there that I could like access or reflect upon. But then I felt like, okay, well, just surrender to that. And then I realized actually that for all these years in my life, I was scared. I was scared to fully empower or embody this dark masculine because I was afraid to maybe hurt the woman on my side or maybe hurt other people or doing something inappropriate or being in a way that could be hurtful for others. But then in this temple night, and that's somehow the magic also of like coming together. We're building, and then in the retreat, you never know when is going to like breakthrough is happening or whatever. Like you cannot really predict it in a way. And so for me, it was this temple night where I then I don't know how much I can share now. But anyways, it was this dark temple corner where I ended up with like 5 women, choking them and spanking them and tying them up and being like super wild and like there was aggression in there. But I knew, and that was even like in the sharing after with the women, like they really enjoyed that. Like they wanted to be taken like that. They wanted to be held in this complete conscious darkness because I was fully aware of what I was doing. I was choking them, I was spanking them, I was tying them up, but there was such a presence here that everything I did was somehow completely guided, and I felt like that's the sweet spot. This is exactly what she needs, actually, and I'm not going too far. So it was somehow a complete conscious use of these great powers that so often we, with like aggression or anger or hate or these feelings we try to suppress many times. Like I was fully aware of this like very dark force, but I could hold it in my awareness, and then it was just such a magic initiation in this whole temple night that I received, even though I was facilitator. And yeah, so this can happen to you in a retreat.
And how do you feel like it impacted your life afterwards?
Well, I do feel a difference in love making. I do feel a different, like I know how like it's somehow like stayed there. It's like I saw the light. I saw this my dark side, my subconscious suppressed dark masculine. I saw him, and through this seeing, it somehow landed. It felt like this part of my soul that was somehow missing for many years got integrated now, and now there is like an almost unbendable confidence and unbendable trust in life, in love, and trust in myself, and trust in my heart. And yeah, also this confidence of sometimes like stepping up and penetrating the space with my power. And that can be very, very forceful, but still loving at the same time. And that was I think that was the gift that landed in this session. Yeah.
Do you feel like it only impacted like the intimate life, or was there, did it also overflow to other areas
No,
of
that
life?
I would refer like that with business and with relationships with people and with love making, like on all aspects.
Even
Definitely.
business and so on.
Yeah.
And so what I want to comment here is that we create so much safety, and like of course it may sound really edgy for some of you, but I want to say that we create so much safety that everything is done when you really like you are empowered to do it or not. Like it's not something never will happen to in the retreat that is like not something that you didn't choose, something that you didn't say yes to. So like you need to know that lots of women actually wanted that. Like they were like, I even saw here like now during the live in the comments, some women were like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I could not admit that to myself for a long time in my life, but that's exactly what I want. And I want to feel that power, and I want to feel this depth and the density. But what matters is where it's coming from. If it's coming from anger, from hate, from insecurity, from wounds, it's a whole different story. This kind of energy we don't want, and we do not allow that. But this energy can come from purity. This energy can come from love. This energy can come as a service of love, as a service to support someone's awakening, to support someone's remembering, to support someone remembering of the power that's within them. When it comes from this place, it's a whole other story. We can go as dark as we want, but when it comes from purity, it's always a force of love. So Carmen, she's here. She was also there at the retreat. It was the best time to find myself. It was a slightly different experience that she was a part of, but yeah, in that place where we welcome all parts of us and those seemingly dark parts, but those, dark can be very, very beautiful when it comes from love. Ah, Nora is here. I cannot choose what was my favorite part of the retreat, but the temple was total magic of the universe. Best retreat, I say. So beautiful to have you here, ladies. Yeah, and then you see you are in this place where you're so safe, or you go to those places which you may never explore in any other aspect of your life, and then you come out and then you see the effect is lasting and it's impacting every single aspect of your life because you have more power, and then this power doesn't go away. It's with you wherever you go.
It
And,
even becomes like the foundation for everything else, really. I mean, it's somehow, I like what Sahajananda, also our meditation teacher, like he brings this so beautiful. It's not integrating life, spirituality into life, but integrating life into spirituality.
yeah.
It's like this realization that you are love, you are creation, you are God, and everything builds around that, and it's somehow becoming the core principles, or becoming the core foundation of everything you do in all aspects. And sooner or later, once you taste the honey, there is no way back. You just...
Yeah, there's no way back. It's one-way street. So, beloveds, I want to wrap it up and say that Divine Eros is coming up. We're actually beginning the preparation work already on Wednesday. So it's a really good time to be a part of the preparation work, because it will really weave you into the community and prepare your body, your energy, your emotions, your spirit to really attune with us, with the field, with the temple. So you will arrive like ready. So now is the best time to join. We have spaces, especially for men, also for couples, and we do have some spots for women as well. So jump in, send in your application. We have the link in my bio. Go ahead, Divine Eros, send in an application. If we are a match, you will be invited. My team will get back to you. If you want to have a clarification call, also my team is available for that. And this will be an extraordinary experience. In October, we start on the 23rd in Portugal, and you will experience for yourself exactly what you need. That's for sure. So thank you for being here. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Thank you so much, Dominik. I'm so looking forward to again hold the space for miracles, and many blessings.
Thank you. Bye bye.